Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking a look at treasure map Flampe once again with the teams that I'll be utilizing with some more boosted units. And if you guys didn't check out my video for Nami and Carrot's banner, I actually managed to pull the unit as well as the pudding support, and then I did a few more multis off screen after that because I was out, and I managed to pick up Smoothie as well. So we do have the full batch. This team is based off the full batch. However, I don't have the waifus of Robin Koala and Ulti and Black Maria. So in today's video, we're going to be breaking out each particular stage and sort of showcasing my speed teams as well. But let's take a quick look at what Flampe actually does. She's a shooter cerebral character. Her captain really doesn't matter, but her special extends the duration of the crew's attack boost by 1 turn, makes it easy land perfects for 3 turns, and if the crew has an additive to the chain multiplier boost, except for multiplicative, when the special is launched, applies increased damage taken status to the enemy 1.5 times for 2 turns, boost the chain multiplier by 1.2 times, 1.2 plus for 3 turns. Otherwise, if you have a Katakuri in the crew, or set as the support character, delays all enemies by 1 turn and applies paralysis for 1 turn. So, interesting stuff that she does stuff with Katakuri. We might see a Katakuri in the future. She has Hunger, which is nice, and Barrier Pen, which is pretty cool. Plus, her support goes on Katakuri, changes character's support to own type, and makes it easy to land perfects for the final stage. She's an okay character, nothing too crazy, but I do believe a lot of people will be doing the 10 million dip strategy because this treasure map does seem incredibly annoying to deal with. So, let's take a look at the mini bosses. As you guys can see here, Carrot and Nami are the boosted character, and then the 1.4 times are the new units, which I don't understand why they've reduced the actual rare recruits, but if you have the Robin, Koala, and Black Maria ulti, it's going to be in your favor. The fact they went on the treasure map banner was a little bit of an L, but look, it is what it is. And then we have a bunch of other 1.35 times boosters down here too. So, let's dive in first. The first fight is against Pudding, and against Pudding, the recommended characters are Akainu and Kamazo, interesting enough. You get all the good stuff on turn 1 and on turn 3. There's 12 turns of despair, so 9 after sockets, 6 turns of burn, 1 turn of only using 3 specials, 3 turns of damage reduction, and 98 turns of delay immunity. So, they want you to use Akainu here. For me, I'm not using Akainu, I'm actually utilizing Blackbeard. Blackbeard will just turn all of that despair into a chain multiplicative, which is super nice, so I don't have to worry about it. His special as well will also give me an orb boost, as well as a base stat boost. And then I've got Crocodile and Doflamingo to be my attack booster, plus they can increase shenanigans and whatnot. For the meantime, like, I do imagine that I literally just need to use Blackbeard and I'll be Gucci. Koala and Jozo are just there as boosters, and then I'm using Daifuku as a wave clearer. Pretty stock standard stuff, nothing really else to it. The whole gimmick here is just sort of getting around the despair. I think a lot of people will be using Akainu in their final stages because he's a 1.4 times booster like myself, but that's my team versus Pudding. On to Brulee now. Brulee is actually an in character, and the recommended characters are the size Straw Hats. On turn 1, Cerebrals, Free Spirit, and Fighters get all the good stuff. You get Unfavorable Orbs, Crewmate Special Reverse by 1 turn, 5 turns of Special Blind, 5 turns of Chain Multiplier Growth Rate is 0.1, an attack down of 90% if you're below 2.25, 1 turn of Damage Null, and Delay Immunity. There is also 100,000 damage on death, so very annoying stuff there. And that's kind of why they recommend bringing Chopper for the damage reduction, Usopp for the special bind, but you do need him at level limit break 5 to get that. Sanji to remove the damage null, and then Luffy for the special reverse. All these characters, they want you to have them at level limit break 5. But my team, it's very different. We're using Whitebeard as the captain, double Whitebeard, but you can definitely use double Luffy. Like, that's not a worry whatsoever. Luffy will work exceptionally, but look, I'm using Whitebeard, it's just more points. Sanji's still here because he can remove the damage null. He gives you a chain boundary as well, which is just perfect. Double special of Brook is going to wave clear very nicely. And to get around the special reverse and the special blind, I'm actually utilizing this Marco and Vista unit. As long as your captain is Powerhouse or Powerhouse or Striker, I think. Maybe it's, yeah, no, Powerhouse or Striker, I'm pretty sure it is. No, Powerhouse or Slasher. You remove the special bind and you get yourself special reverse, so that works nicely. If you have the Usopp maxed, you can use Usopp. But for myself, like, I'm utilizing this particular unit in Marco Vista. But this team should do absolutely fine. Marco Vista also an attack booster. You can use a support for orbs. We should be pretty hunky-dory here. I just brought this other normal Ryuku and Blenheim unit just because they're higher boosting. But you can easily just chuck Zoro on the team here for orb boosting as well. The free-to-play Zoro if you need that as well. Moving on to Galette now. Galette is a quick unit. And the recommended characters are Sanji, Reiju, the free-to-play units, and the Shinobu and Boa. But for me, I didn't use too many multis on that waifu banner, so I don't really want to use these characters here. But fighters and I think cerebral powerhouse fighters, that's it. Get all the good stuff. 9 turns of bind on the middle row, which go down to 6 after sockets. 6 turns of attack down, 1 turn of special reverse, and 5 turns of threshold, as well as poison immunity. On defeat, the enemy will come back with 30% HP, 3 turns of paralysis on the crew, and 1 turn of defense up. So, I'm using the traditional cat-dog combination to get through the threshold. Dog Storm, the Colosseum one, is boosted, so I was like, screw it, I'll use Cat Viper as my captain. That'll work out pretty hunky-dory. We can use the super class to actually wave clear with these units. I'm using Kamazo as well. That's another option to wave clear here. You can use the Odin support on Cat Viper to get 1 turn of cooldown on the final stage, and then use the Cat Viper special for an orb boost there. But utilizing this Sabo is just elite. If you have him at level Limit Break 5, not only will he remove the 6 turns of attack down, but he'll also be your attack booster. He'll also give you a chain boost, and he'll apply an ignite of 100 times the enemy's attack as ignite damage. And the reason that's so good is because when the enemy revives with 30% of the HP, the burn is literally just going to kill them. I have Shanks and Buggy here just as another unit that can remove attack down. They can also give you color affinity, but they're a 1.35 times booster, so that's the big reason they're here. This team obviously is probably the lowest of my points, but ideally getting around the mini-boss stages as fast as possible is the way to go when you are trying to play as much treasure map as possible. Moving on to the final mini-boss now, we're coming up against Galette. Galette is a strength unit, I believe. She turns into a strength character. And Luffy and Ace 6+ are the recommended unit here. Quick, strength, and int, get all the good stuff. If you have Luffy and Ace 6+, like, you are absolutely fine for this fight. However, there are 1.35 times boosts, and I understand a lot of people will want to use them on their final teams. So on stage 3, you get 3 turns of special reverse, 8 turns of crewmate blind, which will go down to 5 after sockets. 4 border block orbs, 9 turns of despair, which is 6 turns after sockets, and 5 turns of top row slot binds. If you use a chain multiplier, like a chain boundary or a chain lock, the enemy will special reverse you by 2 turns and remove all your beneficial effects. So obviously, like, Luffy and Ace just take care of all of this. If you switch into Luffy on the final stage, you're going to remove the despair, you're going to remove the slot bind, you're going to give yourself a chain boundary, then you can use both of their specials, and you get a conditional boost, you get an attack boost, and you get an all boost. So you have everything you need, and if you have the Shank support, you can get color affinity there as well. The rest of the team, it's literally just boosters. This team's subject to change. I'm thinking about some like Uta strats and whatnot, with the 6++ of Uta as well to get around special bind and stuff there. But we're just using Zoro for wave clearing stuff. Pretty self-explanatory. If you have Luffy and Ace on this team, go for gold. But if you're looking for another option, like I said, Uta 6++, the quick one, should be a really, really good option here. Moving on to the final fight now against Big Mom. She is the boss, and this particular team does use the boosters, obviously. So we're using Carrot Wanda as our Carrot Nami as our captain. We have the 2 new rare recruits. We have Reiju on the team, and we have the Akainu from the last treasure map. But let's break down what the stage does. If you guys have Black Maria ulti and Robin Koala, you're probably going to want to use them here as well, as they are the recommended characters. On stage 1, Dex, Int, and Quick characters get the good stuff. On stage 2, there's 1 turn of paralysis, 6 turns of burn, 3 turns of damage reduction, 3 turns of threshold, and a barrier for 4 perfect hits for 2 turns. So this is where they obviously want you to use, like, Robin Koala to remove that. Super annoying, but I don't have Robin Koala, so here we are. On defeat, the 4 HP recovery and run away. On stage 3, you get a full border block slot, 7 turns of bind on your crewmates, which will go down to 4 after sockets. 7 turns of defense up, 98 turns of normal attacks only, delay immunity, and a slot barrier for 3 recovery slots. Very annoying. If you do damage reduction, you lose all your beneficial effects. And on defeat, the enemy comes back with 10 million HP, does 80,000 damage, and gives you 2 turns of hunger. So this final fight, it's nowhere near as bad as the intrusion, but it's definitely not great. If you have these units, you're going to be in for a good time, but if you don't, it is going to be a bit of a struggle. However, the team that I'm going to be using looks a little bit like this. Nami and Carrot being our captain, they can give you overheal shenanigans. On stage 2, we're going to use our friend captain, so that way we can actually get the chain boundary, or actually, we probably don't need to get rid of the burn. We can just use Reiju special there, and that way we can get around the defense up on the final stage. And we can use Smoothie to remove the threshold and the damage reduction here. You obviously have to hit perfects because there is burn damage, so we might need to remove that. But to get around the paralysis, I just have the Kizaru support on Akainu. That should work out pretty hunky-dory. then once we move into the final stage, we do need to get around the bind as well as the block slots, which our Carrot and Nami take care of. With the carryover of Reiju, we can set defense to 0, which is awesome. And then we just use our pudding unit here to give us recovery orbs to get through the barrier. On top of that, we have Vivi for an orb boost. That's going to work out pretty nicely. And then on the revive, we can use a Kainu to give us a conditional boost to kill on the revive. Unfortunately, we're not going to have any crazy shenaniganry for the revive, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Brook is going to give us damage reduction, and that way we don't trigger the interrupt, so that way when we hit the 80k, we should be fine. But this is the team that I'm going to be trying, and hopefully it works out, and hopefully it gets me pretty far. If I need to, I can just take a Kainu off and bring something else in. What that something else looks like, I'm not 100% sure yet. But if we need to bring in more damage and something like that for the revive, we'll have to look at that option when it comes around. The final fight is against Flampe, the intrusion fight, and this one is an absolute doozy. So if you guys don't have the units, I'm so sorry for you. But again, all the waifus, they're all the recommended characters. On turn 1, Fighters, Cerebrals, and Free Spirits get the good stuff. Stage 2 has Block Orbs, 2 turns of Hunger, 7 turns of Paralysis, 5 turns of Recovery Blind, 2 turns of Special Reverse, 1 turn of Cremate Fear, Pain for 5% damage every time you do anything that's not a normal tap, 3 turns of Defense Up at 10,000, and on Stage 3, if you enter with less than 99% HP, which you do not want to do, you get a full board of Super Block Orbs, and there is 1 turn of damage null. So you really don't want to have to deal with that. On top of that, there is 9 turns of left column bind, so 6 turns after socket, 6 turns of special bind, 6 turns of damage reduction, 4 turns of threshold, 98 turns of delay immunity, and normal attacks only. And yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot going on. So basically, you ideally want to deal with the preemptive. You don't want to deal with this like super block and this like null damage situation. So the team that I will be using, and I will showcase a run at the end of this video with this particular team, utilizes Luffy and Ace as captain, but a friend captain, Carrot Nami. And then we have Carrot Nami on our team. We have the 2 recommended characters in Smoothie and Pudding, and then we have a Kainu as well. So a Kainu is just here for more points early. We can easily move him off the team, replace with someone that can remove damage reduction. Literally, like, I don't know, any Robin unit or any other 1.35 times booster that can remove damage reduction. That's really where this team kind of falls short, because I don't have a full damage reduction kit. But to get around the paralysis, we have Rayleigh on Luffy and Ace, and then we have the Pudding special. That's going to work out fine. Luffy and Ace get around the special reverse, which is awesome. And then we can use the friend captain, Carrot Nami, on turn 2 to help kill there. On the final stage, to get around all the defensive effects, we have the combination of the Sengoku support on Akainu, and we have the Smoothie support. Then we have the Carrot Nami ourselves to give us chain boundary. We also have an attack boost with Smoothie, and we have an orb boost and conditional with Luffy and Ace. Unfortunately, Akainu and Luffy Ace will not be boosted underneath Carrot Nami. However, Carrot Nami and the batch will be all boosted thanks to Luffy and Ace, besides Smoothie. So your characters that will be hitting hard are Pudding, and then Carrot Nami. But look, we'll see how it rocks, and I'll try to show you how that works right now. Alright, so that's the team, those supports. Let's dive on in. So, on turn 1, my plan here is to switch in to Nami on my Carrot and Nami, and that way I get an AK heal. Thanks to the Sailor of one of the batch, I don't know if it's Pudding or it's Smoothie, I actually get some recovery slots there. And then basically, we're just going to try and eat as many recovery orbs as we possibly can. So that way we can just build up the healing. Because this team doesn't actually have the limit break ability to get around the 5 turns of recovery bind, which is so fucking annoying, man. Like, I'm actually so bummed. But we have Hunger with our units, so we can get rid of that. Rayleigh can remove some of the paralysis, and then we can switch with our friend captain, Nami and Carrot, to remove the defense up, and we can use their special to give us a full board of orbs through the block orbs, so that works out super hunky-dory. Once we've done that, everything wears in good set here, and we can just sort of tap with our 2 Dex units, obviously, like we want to tap different orders so that way we can get more damage as the scaling gets higher, but for now, like, it's not going to be an issue. On the final stage, we're basically just going to pop all of our specials, and that's basically all there is to it. To get around the bind and the special bind, you need to make sure that Nami and Carrot is on the right-hand side, so that way when you switch with them, you can remove the special bind, use their special to remove the rest of it for the rest of the crew, and then we can use our Smoothie special to get around the damage reduction and the threshold, and then we can use our Luffy and Ace special to give us an orb boost and a... Oh, hang on. We actually already get an orb boost with you. Interesting. Oh, okay, so she does both. So it is what it is. Luffy and Ace are going to be a better orb booster, though, I do believe. You can actually switch into their dual form captain as well. So that way you get bigger numbers. But look, their conditional boost is just better than what Akainu gives. However, Akainu's literally just here because he's a 1.4 times booster. And with the Sengoku support, you can get around damage reduction there. And as you guys will see, we should be able to easily kill. We have 3 units that are hitting very hard here, and that should be enough to get the job done for a little while. Like I said, I don't know how long the team will last, but look, it should get me pretty far into Treasure Map. But that's going to wrap up the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to belt the like button, hit the subscribe button. Best of luck in Treasure Map. This one is an absolute doozy, and I know a lot of people are going to struggle, but best of luck nevertheless. If you did enjoy the video, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button. Most importantly, though, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Let's